Hello, everyone. My name is Julie Riskin, and I serve on the board of the Legal Services Corporation, and I'm very honored to be able to facilitate our amazing Client Leaders Council. And one of the geniuses that Edgar and Jean Kahn created when they were involved with the Legal Services Act was the requirement that every governing board be 1/3 clients. And that's because clients have so much to give, so much to offer, and want to do so. So today we are privileged to have the opportunity to hear from several individuals whose lives have been profoundly affected by legal aid. And I am really happy to introduce Chloe Brown to share her story of how legal aid saved her and her family. Chloe works as a social media manager and a body positive influencer on TikTok and Instagram. I have not met Chloe, but she is obviously younger than me. I tried to look her up and couldn't figure out how to get on those. But she seems awesome. And that kind of influencing and being able to share like that is really what we need. So she frequently works with national brands in their ad campaigns. So Chloe, please join me on the stage, and everyone help me welcome her.
Hi, everyone. This is my first time telling a story like this in this big of a setting, so bear with me. It's a little bit of a hard one for me to tell, but I'm very thankful to be here to tell it. So I'm here today to tell you how Neighborhood Legal Services saved my twin brother and I by providing free legal services when we were no longer able to afford them. When my brother and I were 4 years old, my father became extremely abusive towards me, my mom, and my brother. My mom divorced my father, and an immediate protection from abuse was put into place. My mom came from a middle-class family. She had her master's degree from George Washington University, and she had been teaching for several years. We never thought that we would be in a place where we needed free legal aid of any kind. For 6 years, my father abused my brother and I during court-ordered visits. We grew up in court, where my mom fought very hard to get us out of that household. And the courts wouldn't believe my brother and I, and they would not listen to our story, even though we had so much evidence against my dad. So every week, we would return home to my mom's after an absolutely horror-filled weekend at my dad's. I assumed my dad was gonna kill us. It got to the point where I didn't know if I would make it home after every weekend. My mom finally reached rock bottom in her savings account after she wrote her attorney a $7,000 check. Her attorney, knowing that she was out of money, told her to start documenting every bruise, every cut, every inch of evidence we had in a photo album. So that's what we did, and we ended up with albums worth of bloody bruises. During one visit, my dad had beaten me so horribly before I got into the car to go home to my mom's, and I had 2 huge purple, black and blue handprints on my body where my father had grabbed me and threw me up against his trailer. My mom gathered all of the documentation of the bruises over the last 6 years and took us directly to the police station that day. The detective on duty advised my mom to take us to the crisis shelter. Once we were there, we were connected with an advocate who said to contact Neighborhood Legal Services because we couldn't afford an attorney anymore. My mom never thought that she would need to use free legal aid. After all those years, we were all a little resistant to think, how could a free attorney help us if the attorney we were paying for couldn't help us and no one would believe us? His name was Mark Krochka, and he was the first person who told me that the abuse was going to end and he was going to be the one to end it. And for the first time in my life, I felt like someone had believed me besides my mom and my brother. Attorney Mark Krochka coordinated community resources to support my mom, my brother, and I. These included a state police detective, children and youth service caseworkers, and the crisis shelter advocates. With his help, another immediate protection from abuse order was issued against my biological dad, and there was also a founded case of child abuse. Someone was finally listening to me and believing me, and the abuse had finally been over. After all of those years, with his courage and dedication, Attorney Krochka refused to leave the courtroom until they believed us. Fast forward to today, my brother and I are both 26 years old. We never saw my biological dad again after his PFA was up. He never showed up, and it was a true miracle. I graduated from Westminster College in 2020 with a bachelor's degree in public relations and social media marketing. My brother was valedictorian of our high school, and I was homecoming queen. I went on to work for a national social media management agency, and I was able to develop my own brand while working there and really just learn the ins and outs of that. And my brother is graduating from dental school next month in Pittsburgh, and he's going on for his residency at Temple. I'm so proud of him. My mom ended up graduating from Johns Hopkins University in 2019 with her doctorate, and she now runs a statewide program called Brain Steps, where she helps children who have suffered traumatic brain injuries get reintegrated into schools. And she also serves as a legal expert for children who have sustained a brain injury. She met my stepfather, Tim, when we were 6, and he's been in our lives ever since. He's the best dad I could ever ask for. And although the first 11 years of my life were filled with trauma, I was finally able to receive help to end those experiences that we endured, even though the people who were supposed to protect me didn't. Because my family received free legal aid from Neighborhood Legal Services, we were able to resume a normal and successful life. My story is something that can happen to anyone at any time, no matter what job you have, no matter where you've come from. And the sudden need for legal aid does not discriminate. It was there when my family needed it. My brother and I were saved by Mark Krochka, who used everything in his power to make sure we were safe, and he would not stop until we were. And for that, we owe our lives to free legal aid through Neighborhood Legal Services.